Hey everyone, it's Movie Lover 120 here, and I'm here with episode 10. No, wait, not episode 10. Episode 9 of my Halloween horror movie review series. And that review is going to be for this slasher film that was released in 2007. Technically, not really wide release, more of a cult direct DVD, but it was given somewhat of a release, but it was more limited. But anyway, the movie that we're going to be reviewing in this episode is for Hatchet. Yes, for those of you who don't know, Hatchet is a cheesy tribute slasher film that was released in 2007 and is directed by Adam Green, who is known for this movie and, well, this other horror film called Frozen. No, not the Disney Frozen, guys. That's what you're probably thinking about. There's actually a horror movie called Frozen about three skiers who get stuck on a lift. But anyways, enough about that, and I'm back onto Hatchet. So if you don't know, what is this movie about? Well, trying to get it over his girlfriend leaving him, a dude named Ben and his friends go to Mardi Gras for New Orleans. Well, Ben isn't very satisfied with it, and is still thinking of his girlfriend during this event. So of course he hears about this haunted swamp tour that one of his friends back home told him about. But unfortunately, the tour guide him and his one friend that actually does accompany him tries to get, but apparently the tour guide can't guide them because the tours he's not allowed to do. So he sends them to this college scam artist who's just trying to look for money, is still hosting some illegal tours. So they go to his tour and him and a few other tourists get stuck at the swamps. And it's now knowing that the ghost that they hear of is the swamps is actually real, and his name is Victor Crowley. And now the tour group guide has to basically survive and get off the swamp. So now, what is this? What is good about this film? Well, there's of course the blood. Like the kills are pretty crazy and pretty good. Well, for a cheesy slasher tribute film, like there are quite a few corny kills in this movie, and there's also the character of Victor Crowley, who kind of has somewhat of a alright backstory, but it's more thin and not really interesting. Sometimes Crowley does work as a villain, but sometimes he doesn't. He's not really in the leagues of Jason or Michael or Freddy or all those other killers that it's meant to be a throwback to. And speaking of Crowley, guys, Victor Crowley himself is actually played by horror icon Kane Hodder, who is actually known for has played Jason Voorhees in quite a few movies. Even actually a number of horror legends are actually in this movie, like even Robert Englund has a cameo in the very beginning, aka Freddy Krueger. So in a way, it's like Jason basically kills Freddy again in that beginning scene. The cast and acting does work, and there is no CGI, there's just good old special effects like in the 80s horror films. And I actually give extra points. One of the characters actually really vomits. So I give them actually good. It's not just fake vomit. I mean, one of the cast members actually was told to improvise and actually vomited for real. In one scene where one of the characters vomits was actually improvised. It is a very gory movie. It's more of a comedy, really. So if you're looking for a straight-up horror film, you're probably not going to really get this here. But there are some varying aspects. That violence does serve as a bit of a comedic parallel to the jokes, and it works for the most part. Now, the bad stuff, yeah. There was a little bit too much verbal humor. I wish it did try to be a little scary at times, but it barely even tries to really be scary, since most of the cast are just behaving like sitcom versions of themselves throughout the film, and having them make really idiotic choices because, well, to be fair, guys, I don't think this is really a movie you're supposed to take seriously. It's just meant to be a little throwback to those 80s corny slasher films. Like, there's not as much kills, and it's actually, despite being really gory, there's not as much kills as it seems like. It's not as intensely gory as the 3 sequels, guys. Yeah, there are 3 sequels. Yeah, they made a second and a third film, and around 2017 they did make a 4th one. But anyway, and also there is the ending. The ending is a little too abrupt, and I feel could have been a bit longer, but however, there is a second one that picks up right after the first one, so yeah. And honestly, when it comes to the sequels, second one is kind of the only good one I like. 4 is the most boring, but technically 3 is worse. If you want to know how I'd rank that whole Hatchet series, but well, yeah. Enough about that. So, this is it for my review, guys, and how would I rank Hatchet? Well, here's how I would rank it. I am going to give Hatchet a 7 out of 10. Well, guys, that'll be it for this review. I'll put Hatchet away. If I can. And there. That wraps up my Hatchet review. Next review for episode 10 is going to be this movie. Man, I cannot wait to talk about this. It's going to be a blast. I will talk about Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness as well, but those will be for next week because I have plenty of other horror films to talk about this week. So, but anyway, that'll be it for this review, guys. Thank you all for watching, and if you like this and want to see more, then don't forget to like and subscribe to Movie Lover 120.